Hello, I'm Karen Merrill, licensed clinical social worker, provider for Reliant Behavioral Health, and today I'm going to present tools to help provide self-care for caregivers. So first we're going to talk about some reminders, and then we'll talk about some tips and provide those tools to help you in the work that you do. So as caregivers, you have a very hard job, rewarding but hard. You likely chose this line of work because you like to help others, but it does take its toll. So we need to remember that in your role, that the need is going to provide an opportunity for you to strive to meet that need and to prove that you're capable of meeting it. Secondly, it's important to remember that whatever you give must be replaced. Constant giving drains our stress threshold and our capacity to meet those demands. Without replacing those resources, we can hit rock bottom and feel burnout. So it's important to use the tools that we'll be suggesting to help replace the energy that is gone out from you from the work that you do. Another point is that caregivers are often uncomfortable when the roles are reversed. It's hard to recognize our own needs because our focus is always on helping others. Another point is that self-care in whatever we do is actually a choice. You know, I think of this as both the good news and the bad news. The good news is that we're in charge of taking care of ourselves and we can actually work towards doing that. The other part of it is that it is our choice to also not be mindful of that. So both ways, it's up to us. The last reminder on this list is that self-care improves our quality of life and actually impacts the longevity of our life. It affects how long we're able to effectively do this work and to enjoy it at the same time. So next, we're going to look at our self-care checklist, how to take care of yourself. First off, commit regularly to people, things, and activities. And I think about this commitment as being different from the kinds of things you do in your daily work. Spending time with friends and family, spending time in favorite or familiar places that bring you satisfaction and joy, and pursuing hobbies or activities that you enjoy. Refreshing yourself in these ways allows you to return to work with new energy. Also important and helpful is to spend time outdoors and experiencing all of our five senses as we do that. Pay attention to what you see, flowers, trees, what you hear, birds, other sounds, what you smell, what it feels like, and even what the air may taste like on any given day. This clears our mind and actually provides more oxygen to our brain. The other thing, number 3, is to reward yourself. Do something daily just for the mere pleasure of doing it. And of course, we want to say to keep that healthy. Take care of your physical health. This is good common sense stuff, things our mother told us. Try to exercise at least 20 minutes 3 times a week. You may not start by achieving that goal, but even if you do it starting 1 or 2 times a week for 10 minutes, gets you on that path of self-care. Try to get at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep in every 24 hours. That's how we restore ourselves. Eat regular, well-balanced meals. Can be a challenge when we're working hard and also taking care of our families. But it's important to put those good nutritious foods in our body. Cut down on fats, sugar, sodium, and caffeine. We can get an immediate sense of gratification from that, can also feel sometimes like a reward, but it can ultimately make us feel more stressed as our body works to synthesize those things. This is important, to know our unhealthy behaviors and to work to eliminate them and watch for their return. I call this kind of recognizing our triggers, and we all have them. Oftentimes we can experience an event or a feeling that can precede the tendency to want to resort to habits that are really not that good for us. These habits are actually attempts to cope with feelings that come up that we want to avoid. But if we understand them better and can see them coming, it gives us the choice to do something different. We feel stressed, sad, angry, etc. So limiting or avoiding alcohol and other drugs, that kind of urge to binge eat or purge in response to stress, and avoiding tobacco products and cigarettes. And as a reminder, you have the availability of seeking help for a healthy lifestyle through your employee assistance program, through Reliant Behavioral Health. And that number can be noted right there. Express your feelings. Sometimes we have a tendency, particularly when we're in helping professions, to kind of stuff our own feelings or not express them. So talking with friends who will just listen, it can be a relief to freely vent to those friends who will not judge you. Pick those friends with whom you feel the most safe and comfortable when you want to express your feelings. Another way is to keep a journal of your feelings. It's a way of processing them, and reviewing a journal periodically allows us to spot patterns of our behavior. An important reminder is to set boundaries. You can't meet the needs of everyone. You have to take care of yourself. So practicing setting boundaries with others can be very helpful. Here's a tough one for caregivers: allowing others to actually care for you. Learn to reach out for help when you need it. Accept what is offered. Ask people to commit to being there when you need help. And again, use your EAP benefit. It's there for you. It's free at no cost, it's confidential, and it's easy to use. And at the very end, we'll review that benefit a little more. Join a support group. You'll find that by joining a support group that you can help feel less isolated, and these groups will encourage your self-care. Support groups can help you feel more connected because these folks are all in the same boat. They understand what you're going through. So the Caregiver Action Network is a free online support group, and there's the web address right there. You can share your experiences with other caregivers and get caregiving tips in addition to these that you might find helpful. There's really nothing like sharing experiences with those of a like mind. Develop realistic expectations for yourself, for others, for your employer, and even for the world. What is realistic to be able to accomplish? Make peace with the fact that perfectionism is a target and not a reality. Life really isn't like that. And the more we're able to accept that, the more free we feel. Avoid setting yourself up for failure or disappointment by recognizing the difference between what could, should, or might be and what actually is. Oftentimes, those would, could, should words are judgments that make us feel bad about ourselves. Much better and easier to kind of process is, what are we willing to do? What would we like to do? And what are we actually capable of doing? So that's an important thing to take from this, is to remember those expectations. Recognize that caregiving is ever evolving and will likely to just continue to require being flexible. So accept that old ways may no longer work. Trying to use old puzzle pieces to fit a new picture may end up just frustrating you. So maintain a hopeful outlook. An optimistic outlook enables you to expect good things to happen in your life. And very important, to keep a sense of humor. You know, a sense of humor is much more than telling jokes. Too often in the pursuit of our work goals, we lose sight of the values that make work worth doing. And we're in a rapid, constant pace today, and it can be hard when it's left unbalanced. So a humorous perspective allows people to find the good or joy in adversity. In other words, what can I learn from this experience? Find the humor or absurdity in an event, which can provide a sense of control when so much is outside your control. Take problems seriously and ourselves lightly. It helps us literally lighten up when we're dealing with heavy situations or experiences. So our complex systems as human beings can greatly be altered by simple practices. Believe in laughter and humor. Smile. You'll notice that others smile back. So you're giving a gift while you also allow yourself to feel happier. Laugh at yourself. Laugh out loud. Nothing like a good belly laugh to reduce stress and recalibrate our systems. Look forward to one thing each day. Keep a gratefulness journal. Research tells us that if we think of 5 things we're grateful for, first thing in the morning, we'll feel better throughout the day. And if you do that at the end of the day, you'll sleep better. Writing these things down helps even more. So a good habit to try to practice. Slow down, be mindful, listen to music that you enjoy daily, turn the news off. It can be distressing to hear news that's going on in our environment, and practice optimism. You know, if we can be taught to feel bad, we can also be taught to feel good. And lastly, and very important, to connect with your employee assistance program. You have up to 5 face-to-face counseling sessions available for each new issue. In other words, let's say that one time during the year, you wanted to work on, let's say work stress, and wanted to see someone face-to-face to do that. You'd have 5 sessions, 5 visits to be able to set some goals and accomplish those goals. If later in the year something else happened, for example, a death in your family or another relationship issue, you'd have another 5 visits. And it's good not only for you, but anybody in your household. You can call the EAP to speak with a counselor directly 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 866-750-1327, or call that number to get a referral to set up appointments with a counselor in their private practice office. Another resource is through our website at myrbh.com. When you set up an account there, you'll be asked for an access code, which is OHWBT, and that can give you a path to our site called Personal Advantage, which has a lot of tools and good information for caregiving and any other thing that really can get in your way of enjoying your life at home or at work. So with that, I'm going to thank you for listening and hope that you have a good day.